and the Reading Fightin Phils taking on the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. This is the pregame show, and we are live just inside the Tompkins Plaza. Gates are open, and baseball coming your way. 7 o'clock is first pitch. Binghamton has won 2 of the first 3 games in this series. The Phils will try to even that series at 2 games apiece with a W tonight. They are 11-12 overall in the season. Binghamton is now at 9-14 in the second half. Alongside my broadcast partner, Jake Starr, my name is Bob McCool, and the man joining us on the show tonight is Reading Fightin Phil Madison Stokes. Madison, you have now been in professional baseball for the better part of 5+ seasons, and this is your 3rd season as a part of it here in Baseball Town. Your impressions, your thoughts of playing baseball here in Reading?
You know, ideally being here 3 years in a row isn't what I wanted, but each year I come back, this place is, you see the cool things about the ballpark, the cool things about Reading. You learn more each year and makes you cherish, the time that you are here. And so the 3 years I've been here, it's been better each year.
And your time in the Phillies organization as well, how has that experience been throughout the course of your professional career?
It's been great. Great organization. I met some really great people from the coaching staff to players, best friends. It's been a great experience since 18. Met some of my best friends, closest friends, and each year I meet new people, and it's been great. So that's the coolest part for me is meeting awesome people.
And your role on this team has become the versatility of your game. You can pretty much play any position, and in fact have played almost every position. Has that always been a part of it? I mean, obviously growing up you played shortstop, and you probably played a little bit of third base. But as this has evolved, has this become just kind of a challenge to you, and you've obviously accepted it?
At first it was a challenge. It started really drafted as a shortstop, started at first base, first year of my pro ball career, and then second year came around, mixed in a little bit at second base, and then the next year came around and looked a little bit at third and short. And so each year it's like I've added on a different position. But really in 21, I think it's when it really started to venture out in the outfield, and 22 was all 7 different positions besides pitching and catching. That's really became the role. It's just utility. Wherever they need me that night, I'm there. And so it's a good challenge, and I like it. And each position brings a different aspect of the game, and so it's been pretty cool.
You haven't asked to put the gear on so you can get catching under your belt yet?
I was asked to last year, but I'm waiting for it this year. I'm ready to go. So I'm ready to do it for sure.
Is there a different approach you have to take each night depending on where you're playing in the field? Because one day you might walk into the clubhouse and the lineup card might have a 6 next to it. Next night it might have an 8. The night after that it could have a 5. For you, does your mindset change at all based on where you're playing in the field, or do you try to keep your approach pretty similar?
Try to keep it similar. Obviously being at different positions, it requires different responsibilities. Backing up different positions and knowing where to be in certain plays. So it comes with the mental challenge of, preparing in those ways and anticipating, where to be in certain situations. But also, if I'm playing center, whereas the night before I was at short, it gives me an idea of where the shortstop's going to be in certain situations. So in a way, it helps me in the long run. But yes, it's challenging, but I try to keep the same mindset with also tacking on, the different responsibilities that each position has.
You're listening to and watching the Reading Fightin Phil's pregame show. We're joined by Fightin Phil Madison Stokes. You have also kind of splattered yourself around the batting order as well. You've batted leadoff a lot. You've batted in the middle of the order. You've batted at the bottom of the order. So if Madison Stokes is making up the lineup, where's he batting and where's he playing?
That's a good question there. I like leadoff. It's fun. You pretty much guaranteed 5 at bats tonight. Some nights, if you're not going so hot, typically you don't want that last at bat. But I like hitting second. I'd probably put myself in second, and second in the order. But bouncing around all year, I'm fine with anywhere I hit. Obviously more closer in the lineup, you're going to get more at bats, which is kind of cool. But they're going to pitch you a little bit different, as opposed to bottom of the order or maybe in the middle of the order. So I'm totally cool with bouncing around and letting those guys before or after me do their job. And it's always cool to see. I mean, we've been changing the lineup all year, and I think we've done a pretty good job of adjusting with that. And I'm not the only one that's been moving around. Dunn moves around a good bit, Kroon moves around a good bit. So you just kind of have to embrace it. And I like hitting second.
One thing we've talked about a lot is that you find a way to impact the game no matter what. And there might be nights where you get no hits, but you're still getting on base. You're still scoring runs. It's as a player, I feel like the mindset sometimes is walks are as good of a hit. And for you and your approach and your mindset, it seems like that's something you take a few to the plate. That I just want to win this battle. I want to win this at bat, and turn over to the next guy behind me with me on base. And it feels like this season you've really epitomized that. Just, so for you personally, how's that mindset? Is it shifted at all, or is it always kind of the same? Look, if I get a pitch to hit, I'm going to drive it. If not, I'm going to work a good at count, and if I can just get on base any way I can, that's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, when you're up there, depending on the situation, if there's runners on or runners not on, I mean, you're just trying to get a good pitch to hit and drive it. And typically you all want to get a hit every at bat, but it's not going to happen. So, if your swing's not there that night, or, if your timing's off or something, just find a way to battle, compete. And there's other ways to contribute to a game than just, offense. So if I'm on defense, go out there and try to make a play, try to do something out there to prevent a run. And then if if I don't get a hit and end up drawing a walk, I'm on base. And then the other guy behind me can, just pass the baton. And so there's, as a hitter, as a position player, as a baseball player, obviously you want to get hit every time. And it's frustrating when you don't, But like I said, there's other ways to contribute, and we just got to remember that and just find a way to battle. If your swing's not there that night, find a way to get on base. And if that's 2 walks or hit by pitch or, whatever it may be, then so be it. So, but yeah.
We've talked to Al Padrique, Phil's manager, about your role on this team, and he kind of smiles like a proud dad when we talk about your role on this team. And I think that's because he had the same kind of role during his career. He was a guy who played a lot of different positions, and so he kind of understands exactly what he expects from you to do. And so I think there's that bond that probably exists between the two of you because he had to do exactly what you do.
Yeah, sure. No, he's been great this year, working me at different positions. He's got great knowledge of the game. He's got obviously great experience, and so it's been fun to play for him and bounce around, talk to him, try to pick his brain at different positions. And we worked hard, and with glove work. He's more of an infield guy, because he played infield, but like you said, he bounced around a little bit as well, and so it's been nice to bounce around and work with him throughout this season.
And Tyler Henson, your hitting coach, I mean, this is a group of hitters. We've talked with Henson a lot where they always want to hit, they always want to be in the cage. It seems like from the time you guys get here to game time, you guys are always hitting. How's it been working with Coach Henson, as your hitting coach this year, and how's that experience all been?
Oh, Henson's great, man. I've been with him 3 years since I've been here, and we had a relationship in 18. I think he was there in 18, but I've known him since I've been with the Phillies, and we've had a great relationship and built a great bond between us, built a lot of trust, and so thankful to be back with him this year and working with him. He cares a lot. He's in there whenever we need him, before the games, after. Typically, he don't let us go in there afterwards, but because we put so much work in before the games. But he's great, man. He gets in there, he gets it, he understands the grind, he understands that some days we're not going to have it, some days we're going to have it, but he sticks with us through it all, the thick and the thin, and we trust him as players for that input, whenever we need it. So,
when you went into the leadoff spot, predominantly was when they made the flip to put Johan Rojas into the 3-hole, and it opened up the spot for you to be in the leadoff spot with him in the 3-hole. And obviously Johan Rojas has now made the elevation to the big leagues. Just curious how that felt to you guys in the clubhouse when Johan Rojas gets that call to go up to Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. He deserved every bit of it. He played his tail off this year, and it's fun to watch him play as an electric player. And so the kid deserved it, man. It was fun to be around it while he was here. Surprised it didn't happen earlier because he was tearing it up. Fun guy to play with. He's electric. He's out there making plays that nobody else can make. He's fast. I mean, he's got all the tools in the world. So really cool and special to see a kid like that, get that chance.
The only problem with that is he makes you and Matthew Kuhn look really slow in center field because he was so good. Not that you guys are bad. He was just so unbelievably good. Everything looks different because it's not Johan in center field.
Right. No, watching him play, and making that transition to center field now, I'm even out there thinking like, darn, trying to get to certain balls that he even got to. And so it's fun to watch him. And then also while I'm out there, not playing like him, but, from watching him play this year, and seeing the plays that he can make and stuff and just making the efforts to make those crazy plays, and, it kind of pushes me to want to do the same thing. So, but yeah, I definitely need to work on the speed.
And you and Kroon and De La Cruz out there as well have all made some really impressive plays in center since Rojas has left, but kind of for the three of you who have kind of been looked at to fill that area in center field. You and Kroon have gotten a lot of the starts there. De La Cruz a couple sprinkled in as well. And something you guys kind of talk about is, how do we approach that position to, kind of make it look like, hey, there's no drop-off from Johan to us three?
Yeah, I mean, I think playing middle infield most of my career has helped me that transition a little bit easier, just catching pop flies in the outfield. And so Played a little bit of the corners last year, but center field's, I think, a little bit easier as far as getting truer reads. But I think by playing shortstop, playing second base, third base, having so many different opportunities for balls and different angles and coming in, going back and stuff, has made that transition a little bit easier. And so I personally enjoy outfield. I think it's fun. Not as close to the game as you feel, when you're at third base and shortstop, but definitely cool to be out there and learn from Barron and learn from Ethan and whoever's out there in the corners, just working with each other and trying to win a game.
But in the ultimate end of all of this is pretty much kind of become your identity, because as you're going to move along in this organization, the most likely aspect is because of your versatility. The fact that you can play so many positions is ultimately probably going to open up the path for you to move forward.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do anything it takes for me to move up to the next level. Obviously I would like to stick to one position just to get comfortable there and have that primary position, but that's obviously not the case, and so I've got to accept it. And I don't have to accept it. I could, butt heads with the coaches, but that wouldn't end well for me. So trying to accept that and just make the most of it. It's another opportunity, I see it as, and if I'm at first base that night, try to be the best first baseman I could be, and just learn how to be a good first baseman. And depending on the situation or depending on the position you're in that night, just make the most of it and learn and grow and just try to be the best at it.
Last one for me here as we kind of move forward now. It's a group that's playing really good baseball, especially here in the month of July. Really, since the 4th of July, they've been playing, really strong, and it's been all around victories that it really has catalyzed this team forward throughout the past month. I feel like for you and all the guys in the locker room, it's got to feel good right now playing the baseball that you're playing, and it feels like it's a group that's been loose all year, but they really feel like they're having a lot of fun right now.
Sure. Yeah. No, I definitely like where we're at. We've obviously had some movements throughout the year, especially lately. A couple of new guys coming in, sent some guys up, a couple of trades and whatnot. So, a couple of guys that have. It's a little bit of a different group, but all in all, it's the same pretty much core group that we've had from the start, and which has been great. Obviously we didn't have the first half that we wanted to have, but I think we had some small wins throughout that first half that had put us in this position now, and I think we're in a good spot to take on the second half and see where it goes. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Before we let you go, Madison, obviously you're not in the lineup tonight, which is why you'll be able to spend some time with us. So that approach, obviously you want to be in the lineup every day, but there comes that point in time where everybody's got to take a night off, and everybody needs a night off at some point in time. How hard is that to adjust to? Because obviously, again, growing up, coming up through college, everything else, you played pretty much every day, and so you ultimately have to work in the idea that on certain nights, look, it's better off for me if I take a night off.
Sure. It's not up to us on whether we play or not, but as a competitor, as an athlete, you obviously want to be in there every night, and not playing sucks. Just being honest, but I can't let whether me playing that night or not playing that night define, who I am as a person or dictate how I carry myself. I've got a responsibility to show up if I'm not in the lineup to be a good teammate that day and be there for somebody that day. Someone that might be struggling or wherever someone is. I still have a job to do away from the field if I'm not playing that night. So there's always something to do. I just can't let that define who I am as a person. But yeah, I'd definitely rather be out in the field, but that's not the way it is, and I'm just going to make the most of it on the bench tonight. And be ready if I'm ready to go in.
We're going to find out shortly. His name's not in the starting lineup. Doesn't mean he's done. He's just added another position to his repertoire. He's now part of the pregame show as well. Madison Stokes joins us. We'll take a timeout. We get back on the Ready Fightin' Phil's Radio Network. We'll have our lineups and first pitch. Phil's and Rumble Ponies coming your way right after this.